What's up, internet? Currin1776 here in the woods doing a product test video. Yeehaw. Awesome company sent me this hammock to check out. It's pretty freaking sweet. I want to share it with you. I also did a modification to it. I got that in the video as well. So y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to learn about this here hammock system and how, if you wish, you can modify it. Roll that beautiful opener. All right, so what I have here is the DD Hammocks Frontline Hammock. You see that? Looks pretty cool, don't it? DD Hammock sent this to me to get my thoughts on it and or whatever and share it with you guys. So I have not set this up at all. This video is the first time I've set it up. I did pull it out of the packaging when I got it just to kind of look at it there in the bedroom, but I haven't hung it up, and we're going to do that right here on the video. We're going to hang this thing up. Hopefully I don't screw anything up. And because it does have a suspension system that's different than any other hammock that I've done before. So these guys are in the UK, so everything's in meters. So it's a 2.7 by 1.4 meter hammock. Olive green. It's 190T polyester. It has mosquito net. Comes with suspension webbing, elastic cord. To my knowledge, the elastic cord is for the bug net, and 2 spreader poles for the bug net or mosquito net. Dual breathable base layer. Says it makes it at home in hot and cold climates. For insulation, foam mat, etc., can be inserted between the layers, so it is a double layer hammock. This is the first time I've set up a double layer hammock, so I'm interested in that. Zips on either side for quick access and exit. Mosquito net for keeping out the insects. Can be used without the mosquito net when needed, so that's good, because you know, in some climates and some temperatures and some times of year you probably don't want to use a mosquito net. Here in Georgia, almost year round, you probably want a mosquito net. And it has internal pockets and loops for storing and hanging gear, etc., etc. So I'm going to take this out of the package here. So here's the suspension system. It's this black webbing here. There's your spreader poles and elastic there for your bug net. And just doing quick math in my head, 2.7 meters is what? Just shy of 10 feet in length, because 3 meters is a little bit closer to 10 feet. So a few other hammocks that I have, I think they're 11 and 12 foot long. So I'm interested to see how this works out. See what we got here. So you got what you would think is 4 cords. You got 2 ends or webbing. It's actually one that's passed through, so that's the 2 ends of one bit of webbing. And then here is your other side. Not sure there's technically a head or foot end on this, so we're going to consider that side our head end, this side our foot end. And typically with my other hammocks, I like to have my hammock foot side a little bit higher than my head side. So we'll get it strung up just to figure that part out, and then we'll worry about adjusting it later. All right, so over here on this side, I'm going to take this end here. So the bug netting's on this side, so that would mean this side needs to be on my left, and this side on my right. So typically I use a couple other methods of suspension. I like my favorite thus far is using Whoopie slings, going to a continuous loop on your hammock, which I think I can modify this to do that. Also like to use, like if you've got a hammock that's got like a carabiner clip on the end at the gathered end, there's tons of straps out there. You can do a strap with a toggle. You can do a strap. Some of the straps already have loops sewn in, so you can just hook your carabiner to that loop, and then you can just adjust on the different loops to get your angle the way you want. But with this, it straps, or a strap on each end that runs all the way through the gathered end, and you have the 2 ends. So what I think I'm gonna do is on my right hand side, I'm gonna tie a bowline on this side. All right, so the bowline, we got our working end here. I'm gonna create a loop. I'm gonna go in. around the tree. Rabbit goes around the tree, back through the loop. Bowline. All right, so we're gonna take this bowline. We'll put it in our mouth. And all right, we're gonna wrap around this tree right about here a couple times. I'm gonna go through my bowline. I'm just going to put a hitch there. All right, so we'll start with that, see how that gets us. And then of course, when you pull the hammock, you know, all this is gonna bunch up, you know, to your hammock. And depending on the distance that your trees are apart, you're gonna have to possibly adjust this. But it'd be as simple as pulling this free. I still have my bowline and I should be able to adjust. So let's go to the other side. See if we can get that side going. I'm gonna go ahead and tie my bowline on this side too though. I'm gonna tie the bowline again. So this is from my other side. I'm trying to keep the hammock off the ground as much as possible. Working in, hanging, create a loop. Through, around, back through. Bowline. The bowline is nice for this because it's not going, this circle here, this loop isn't going to constrict down. It's going to maintain that shape when we put tension on it. So let's go to the other side. And honestly, if I can modify this, this is why. Because in my opinion, with Whoopie slings, I probably have this already up by now. Of course, that's my opinion. But if we can modify this here in a few minutes, which I think I can, I try to keep a couple continuous loops that I've made in my pack. I should have a couple in there. We'll put that on, see if that helps. But we're gonna do it the way they have it designed here for now. Because you might not like Whoopie slings. You might wanna do it this way, and that's okay. I'm gonna go around the tree a couple times. Ooh. Drop that down a little bit. Almost dropped it. I'm gonna go through our bowline. Tie it off. All right, so there's the hammock thus far. Put some pressure down on it. Get any stretch on the webbing handle. So what I've found with hammocks, my personal opinion, and what I've done some research on and found to be true for me, is about a 30-degree angle hang is pretty dang close to an awesome sweet spot for me. So that's what I want to try to do. And a 30-degree hang is typically, if you hold your hand like this, the angle from your thumb to your pointer finger is roughly 30 degrees. So one way to judge that is to literally go to your suspension and get where your finger touches. You hold your hand straight, your pointer finger as straight as possible, and see, you know, we're close to 30 degrees there. So pretty close. So you want to get some stretch out and kind of see how your hang is. Right now, it feels to me that this end over here is a bit lower. I like my foot, I'm gonna let that be my foot end. So I want my foot end to be higher and my head end to be just a tick lower. So what I can do with this setup, since I got my bowline right here, I can simply pull that tag in and I can pull this, get the slack out, get this a little bit higher, tie it back off. and then go back to this end and lower that down a little bit and try to maintain my 30-degree angle as best as I can. I'm going to pull that slip out, and we're going to let some of this down. Whoa, that's too low. See how that works. I'm just going to sit in it. I also like to, when I'm sitting, I want it to feel very much like a chair. So right now my legs are going up, not quite as flat as I would like, so I'm going to go up some more, just back and forth adjusting this thing. Try again. Sit down. That's much better. So my legs, my thighs are flat. That's a pretty good height right there. So just for information's sake, this right here is the end of the hammock. This is what you kind of, is coined as the gathered end. So this webbing goes all the way through and back up. So there's my bowline, and then my slip knot, kind of like when you finish off a trucker's hitch. Kind of essentially what we've done to an extent. And then your gathered end here on the other end. And there. So it's pretty darn close. Took a little bit of time to set up. Not a deal breaker or anything. But me personally, I like the Whoopie Sling system a little better. So I'm going to swap this out. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put a continuous loop through here. I'll show you that. And we're going to use the Whoopie Slings, set this back up and see if there's a difference, okay? But there's nothing wrong with this suspension system. I personally prefer a Whoopie Sling. Good thing is, this hammock, you can modify it to use a Whoopie Sling system if that's what you want to do. That's a donkey. On second thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this up the way they have it designed with this suspension system. We're going to see how it works and everything, and then I'll set it up again modified for Whoopie Slings. That way you see both, you can make your determination, because you might like that kind of suspension system. And I don't hate it, I just know that in the amount of time it took me to get that set up, I could have got it set up for myself a lot quicker with the Whoopie Slings. So let's finish setting this up and try it out. So for the bug netting, we need to put up a ridge line. You can check out in the tarp shelter series, I show how to set up this ridge line I'm fixing to do right now. I'm not going to show you in this video, but I've got my pre-made ridge line right here. This is some Zing It, I think it's called. Some Zing It, very, very strong. It's a braided line, and I've got some prusik knots already on it. And I've got this little clip here on the end. I got this from Dutch Wear. I bought this from Dutch Wear Gear, so it's a little ridgeline clip. I think it's called a Dutch clip. And then what they call their wasp, the Dutch Wear wasp I got on here. So I really like this setup because I can very quickly deploy the ridgeline. So I'm gonna put that up real quick and we'll work on this bug net, mosquito net. So in the bag we've got, it's kind of like tent pegs or tent poles. It's got the elastic on the inside. You want to hook these or slide these into their respective spots here on the hammock. I like how they did this. So on this end, you've got this olive green piece here going across your bug net. This means they're thinking about quality. So what they've done is they sewed the end right here, and then they have a little slot there for the rod to go through. Very well thought out, because then the rod gets captured by the sewed end on each side, so that's nice. They thought about that, implemented that. So it's sewn there, and then they've got the slot there. So that's pretty self-explanatory. We run, and then there's rubber ends, which is nice. There's rubber ends on here, so you don't have to worry about it puncturing through over time and ruining your hammock. So we're gonna slide that in. It hits all the way there, and then you bring it all the way inside and it gets captured. Do the same on the other end. I like DD Hammocks, man, or the company DD Hammocks, because they've got really nice products. Very well made and thought through. Like, I feel like other companies, they never would have done that. You just slide it through the end. And yeah, maybe under tension, you ain't got to worry about it sliding out, but could, right? It 100% could slide out. And then we've got our shock cord here. Cut into 2 pieces, which is good. And you've got these loops here for that to pass through. So we're going to pass through there. And then of course, these can stay on once you get this part done. You don't have to worry about redoing that, I don't reckon. So you pass that through there, and we're just going to tie a simple overhand here to lash those together, those 2 ends together. And then this we'll put up with a toggle to our prusik, and then tighten it up when we get to that point. So do the same here on the other side. I'm really digging this thing so far. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the suspension system, but it works. Others might like it, and it's not the end of the world. You can adapt it into whatever suspension system you like, which is good. So I'm passed through. My overhand knot. Try that again, it's slipping on me. There we go. And that go up to a prusik with a toggle. How about that? Alright, so toggle time. I got 2 toggles here. I'm going to stretch the elastic up and hook to the prusik. So I've got my elastic here. Go through my prusik loop, and I can run that over just like that, and that holds it. And then I can adjust this up or down to adjust the tension however I want. Do the same on the other side. So again, got my prusik, my elastic, toggle goes in the prusik, elastic goes over the toggle. So the pressure is on the prusik, not the toggle. I think I've said that several times on on different videos. All right, so there we go. As you can see, the bug net is up. I think some static has got the secondary layer pushed up there. There we go. So there's your deal there. So that's how it's hanging. And then of course you put your tarp over the same ridge line, right? And you're good to go. And you can even put your tarp up, use these toggles for your tarp to get it tight, like I've shown in tarp videos, and then just stretch this elastic to the same toggle. Very, very stretchy. It'll reach just fine. You'll be good to go. So I'm gonna change my battery real quick. This rascal's fixing to die. And we'll continue on with this here setup. Check this thing out. All right, I'm back. So, battery change, we're ready to go. I did miss a loop right here. So there's 3 loops. I'll have to redo that later, but this is working. So here you see your spreader bar fully captured, keeping the bug net up nice and high. Again, plenty of adjustability here. So you can stretch these out however you want. Supposed to lay down in it. See how the lay is on it. First thing I'm going to do is bring this zipper back over here where I can reach it. And it is zippered on both sides, so you can get out of the right side or left side, however you're laying in it. So we'll lay in it real quick. Keep my boots off so I don't get dirt in here. Spread it out. What I like to do is lay at a diagonal. You get a flatter lay that way versus laying like a banana in here. So if you lay diagonally, you get a whole lot better comfort, in my opinion. And there's some hammocks on the market that when you order them, you have to tell them, hey, I like my head on the right side, or feet on the left, feet on the right, head on the left, because the material is cut for that specific diagonal lay. And then some hammocks, like this one, you can lay either way. It's comfortable. It's nice. Let's reach up here and zip up the bug net. It's good. The elastic keeps it up off your face. Even me at a diagonal with my head literally right here at the edge is still off my face. It hangs down a little bit right here, but it's not, it's not in my way. If I had this right, no, that wouldn't change that. Oh, nice. So I'll give you a close-up of this later, but right here is a little pouch on my left. There's also one on my right, so there's a place you can, keep things, flashlight, your phone, snack, whatever. I like it. One thing you don't want is the freaking bug net to be hanging down and aggravating the crap out of you. I mean, you don't want that. And again, there's zippers on both sides so that you can get out either way you want. Oh yeah, and there's 2 more little gear bags, little pouches down there on my foot end. So no matter what end your head is on, you got access, or you can keep stuff down there too. You just got to sit up to get to it. And what I was real curious about was, because I'm used to 11 and 12 foot hammocks, the lay is a little different, but I'm still plenty comfortable. And my other hammocks have a ridge line. One of them, I put one on myself, have a ridge line that goes to each gathered end. That way, no matter how I hang it, as far as my angle of my suspension, no matter how I hang it, it has the same droop in the hammock because of that ridge line. I can't do that with this one because the way that the bug net is not zippered all the way around continuously. It's actually into the gathered end on this side right here. But they say if you don't want to use the bug net, you don't have to. What I think they mean by that is you can unzip both sides. The zippers work well, which is good. They don't hang up. They're real smooth. Put the boots back on. So if you don't want the bug net down, since it goes all the way to the gathered end, what I think the idea is that you can zip it all the way open on both sides. And you can gather this up, if you will, for lack of better terms. You can gather that up, and then you essentially have the bug net away from you. It's just like a little roof right there above you. So this is a double layer hammock, and what they mean by that is you got 2 layers like that, right? So this is the inside layer, this is the exterior layer. What's good about double layer hammocks is some people have experienced it, although they have a bug net and they're in a single layer hammock, mosquitoes can still get them through the bottom fabric. With double layer, that's way less likely to happen. Also, with double layer, you have the ability to put insulation in between the two. If you've ever hammock camped or spent time in a hammock, you know, even on warm days, your back of your legs, your butt, all that area can actually get kind of chilly because you have air transfer underneath you. You're completely suspended, so you need some sort of insulation there. So with the double layer hammock, on this side over here, they've got Velcro so that you can access in between the 2 layers. You can put a sleeping pad, a foam pad, an inflatable pad, anything like that up inside of the hammock. So let's do that real quick, try that out. So here I got Climate Static V2 pad. Shove that in there. Try to angle it a little bit if you can. Put our Velcro back on. Just like so. Alright, I got sand in there anyway. So my pad is in. Oh, that's nice. This is the first time I've had a double layer to be able to put a pad in. Oh, that's a game changer right there. Oh yeah, that's on time right there, folks. You might have to do a little finagling around with your feet to get it to lay where you want it. Oh yeah, I'm a believer of that. Yes sir. So I'm not feeling, obviously, I'm not feeling any temperature difference on my backside like I was earlier. We've got a little bit of a breeze out here today. That's freaking nice, folks. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeehaw to that. I do like the double layer functionality. Now of course, there's other methods of insulation that they call underquilts. Basically it's a sleeping bag-ish type product that hangs under your hammock, and there's different ways to hang them. They hang to your suspension system. Like this hammock here has got loops on the side, so you can probably hang your underquilt to that. It makes a barrier between you and the outside, helps keep you warm. So you can still use an underquilt with this, obviously, but you know, they can get kind of expensive. There's some underquilts out there that are very expensive, but it depends on what kind of climate you're going to be using these in. The pad is kind of an entry level and cheaper way to get into having some insulation underneath you with a hammock. Now you can use a pad with a single layer hammock, but you're actually going to be on the pad. And from what I've heard, you know, people have issues with pads slipping on them and stuff like that, and it's kind of aggravating, where double layers are a little bit better because it's in between those two layers, so it's kind of stays in place a little better once you get it where you want it. But nonetheless, double layer is pretty freaking awesome. I like that. So just to give you a close-up of these little bags I was talking about here, in this top corner, or where my head was, I got a little pouch there. There's a pouch here. Also on the other two here on the other end. Here's some loops for hanging accessories, under quilts, things like that too. There's a couple of those on each side. And then there again, here's your Velcro double layer access to where the sleeping pad is hanging out up under there. So overall, I freaking dig it. Zippers are nice, the bug net's nice. I like how you can get it completely up and out of the way. So if you want to hang out during the day and bugs aren't necessarily an issue, you're hanging out at camp, you want to be able to sit in your hammock or lay in your hammock, not have a bug net around you, you can easily mitigate that by unzipping both sides, and you can just drape it up over the end here like I did. If it's a little more inclement weather, wind blowing, stuff like that, that might not hold, you can use different types of gear, Velcro straps, some cordage, whatever, to actually like tie that off. So no biggie. But that DD Hammocks Frontline Hammock right there is pretty freaking sweet. I dig that thing. I like it. Only thing that I would do different, that I mentioned in the beginning, was this suspension system. I'm not terribly crazy about this type of suspension system, just due to time and being efficient getting it set up. Now over time, as you do it, I'm sure you'll get better at it. You'll know, okay, I need to go 2 wraps around a certain size tree, or you know, I need it to be at this angle to get the lay that I want. I just like a Whoopie Sling setup, so I'm gonna put that on real quick, quickly show you how I'm gonna do it, how I think I'm gonna do it anyway, and try it with a Whoopie Sling setup. Then I think it'd be an 11 out of 10. This is a nice hammock, don't get me wrong, and tons of people use that kind of suspension system. It's the thing with hammocks, hammock camping, that I've found is there's numerous ways to do things, and that's kind of like with everything in life. Mostly there's multiple ways of doing things. It's what's more efficient to you, what makes more sense to you, what do you like to use. So I'm going to use Whoopie Sling. So what I've got here is 2 continuous loops. Now what this is am steel. There's no knots here, as you can see. It's made out of the same kind of material that the Whoopie Slings are made out of, that I discussed in a past video, but you braid essentially, or bury itself into the core of the cordage here. I don't know if you can see, but as I bunch it up, it's a hollow core. So what you do, and I'll do videos later on how to make these. You can make these, you can buy these. I just bought a decent sized roll of am steel just to learn and to play around with making stuff like this. You can make soft shackles, you can make really cool prusik knots, you can make Whoopie Slings, you can do all sorts of stuff. This stuff right here is strong. It's like, I can't remember, but it's well over 1,000 pounds. I want to say it's like, I'd be telling you wrong, but it's somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds strength here. So perfect for hammocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to pass it through where the current webbing is so that it comes out, and then I can do kind of like a lark's head knot that will hook this to my Whoopie Slings, and then it would get rid of those webbings that are currently on there now. So let's try to do that. We'll do one side at a time. All right, so number one, I've got to pass this through there so I can hook it to my Whoopie sling. So here I got my Whoopie sling. Then this will be sticking out of here and will stay on here to gather it in. And then I can hook my Whoopie sling directly to it. And to me, it'd be a lot quicker and easier to adjust my hang. So I'm gonna take my knot loose over here. So now I'm just left with my bowline. What I wanna try to do, I wanna try to pull this through. My knot on my bowline is too big. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my bowline apart, untie it, and I'm just gonna do a simple just overhand knot right here. Hopefully just strong enough to pull my am steel continuous loop all the way through the hammock. I want to keep a hold of this end right here and just work it through just like that. So now I got it. I'm going to undo my webbing. Now I'm going to pass it through itself like that. And now this is my connection point. So I've eliminated the webbing going through that gathered in, and now I've got this. So now the cool thing is, because I've got the bug net up right there, it's holding the hammock off the ground. So with the Whoopie sling, it's the same thing. There's no knots, but I can pass this through to lengthen or shorten my hang. So this area right here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a strap, go around the tree, hook this to a toggle, and then I'm gonna hook this hook to my new continuous loop. All right, so now I've got my Whoopie sling attached to a toggle from a strap to the tree and attached to my continuous loop that I have replaced for the webbing. So what I like about the Whoopie sling is now when I want to adjust my height, I don't have to untie knots, I don't have to retie knots, I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is come right here where this tag is sticking out, pinch right here, because this tag is running down the center of this cordage right here, this am steel. So when there's pressure on it, it tightens up like a Chinese finger trap. But if I want to bring my hammock up here, all I gotta do is pinch here, grab my tag in, and pull it up. And then at the same time, if I want it to go down, I find where it goes in the middle, I pinch right there, I can pull it down and lower it down. So to me, that is far easier and quicker and more efficient than straps, you know, carabiners having to hook the different loops till you finally get it right. With that kind of system right there with Whoopie slings, I can adjust it 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 2/3 of an inch, or 2 feet. Like I've got almost infinite adjustment to get the hang that I want. So I'm gonna go to the other side, put this one in, and set that same suspension system back up. And then like I said, I think it'll be an 11 out of a 10 at that point. So in conclusion, I think this Frontline hammock from DD Hammocks is freaking awesome. Like, awesome construction, double layer, good materials, great zippers, really nice bug net. Some bug nets out there are freaking horrible. Like, this is a very tight mesh, really nice, well put together bug net. Some bug nets on the market, you just hook to the ridge line in the center and it kind of creates a TP effect. And if you're sleeping, you know, at an angle, you really have that bug net running against your face, which can be aggravating. And then, you know, the little rascals can get you through the bug net. So keeps the bug net up and off of you, plenty high, plenty of headroom. If you want to sit up, you can flip the bug net over, get it out of the way completely. Double layer, you can put insulation padding in there. I dig it. I think it's freaking awesome. My only gripe would be the suspension system it comes with. But suspension systems are personal preference. I may like the Whoopie slings. I may think they're the best suspension system out there. You may think different. You might like to use webbing and carabiners or mule tape and knots and stuff like that. That's fine. You can go with the suspension system it comes with and have a blast. Great thing is, if you want to change it to a different type of suspension system, you can do that. It's not restrictive to just what it comes with, so that is a plus. I like it. I think it's a great hammock. Comes in a nice stuff sack here. My other DD products that I have, the tarps especially, they all fit back into their bags. The bags are typically a little bit larger than they need to be so that you can get the stuff back in there.
Did you say that again?
I said...
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Excuse me? I wasn't talking to you. They typically make their bags a little bit larger so that you can obviously get the product back in the bag, which to me is a pet peeve when I can't do that. So, all in all, great product, built great, thought through, just like their tarps are. I dig it and I'm going to enjoy using it because the other hammock I have doesn't have a bug net. And the one that I do have that has a bug net, it got messed up, got a little too close to the fire, and may or may not have melted my bug net a little bit. So there's a breaching problem there. So now I got a hammock with a bug net again, which is great. So thanks DD for sending this product out for me to check out and review. I dig it. Great job, guys, great job. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Please like and comment down below, share with your friends. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube and the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I post more videos. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some other hammock reviews, different types of hammocks, different setups, the whole nine, because I really have come to enjoy the hammock side of the hammock aspect of being in the outdoors and camping. There's nothing wrong with tent camping and camping on the ground, but there's something to be said about the hammock systems, because there's just, I don't know, they're somewhat intricate. They can be difficult, they can not be difficult. That's up to you and how you do your setup. So check out DD Hammocks, check out their Frontline hammock. They have other hammocks as well, so check those out. And I'll see you next time with another product review video. Yeehaw. I'm fixing to take a nap. Come on. Yeah, boy, the Whoopie Sling in the house.